Methylene blue, IgE diseases. Many of the deaths and adverse reactions to methylene blue can be understood by looking at its attack on the immune system. Clever scientists in Massachusetts used its DNA-seeking properties in 2010 to make an electrochemical sensor with a detection limit of 0.52 nanogram per millimeter. Here's their approach to using gold nanoparticles. Here we have Figure 1, a schematic representation of the electrochemical sandwich immunoassay.
They want you to take your methylene blue. Why? And why do you need all this methylene blue out there in people? Well, it lights you up from the inside out like a Christmas tree, just like a dye you would get for an MRI. Methylene blue was originally a dye so that they can see you from the inside out. Then, with your visible light communication with optogenetics and optogenomics, light, Wi-Fi, everywhere around you, that's the electromagnetic spectrum. Your eyeballs only see 0.0035% of that. You cannot see it. Most of these medical systems are insulated for national security, cyber biosecurity. So if you're sniffing your packets, you're going to run face first into the DISN, and it's going to bitch slap you back. If you're trying to sniff your own Bluetooth, you might be able to get some of the generic networks for things like helium, which are your cryptocurrency biomedical miners that are sold COTS, commercial off the shelf. But if it's using visible light communication, it's using GOTS, government off the shelf. You ain't sniffing shit. Welcome to National Security for Medical Body Area Networks, mandated by the FCC since 1999.
We're going to Google visible light communication, and we're going to click on the images. How have you been watching your in-flight when you paid and the other person didn't? Radio frequency restricted area, and what it shows is an oil drilling gig somewhere in the middle of the ocean. Internet of Things applications, like all your smart meters, your Alexa, your Ring, your door camera, including your Flock AI. The Industrial 4.0 applications for logistics, robot control, high-speed internet, 5G, 6G, and beyond, light fidelity, road traffic safety with your vehicle networks, underwater communications, indoor localization applications. That's your intelligent reflective surfaces. And what do you see here with visible light communications? Medical applications.
So back to the methylene blue. Why would they tell people who didn't take the shot, who don't want the nano in them, to take as much as possible of the methylene blue so that the system can see you easier with your big electromagnetic algorithms for your datasets for your digital twins? Just take your methylene blue and then we'll have you on to your next nanotechnology. Masterpeace. Masterpeace is based on zeolite nanoparticles.
What are zeolite nanoparticles? We're going to Google zeolite nanoparticles. Zeolite nanoparticles are engineered, microporous, crystalline aluminosilicate with high external surface area and shortened diffusion paths, ranging in size roughly 15 to 100 nanometers. They offer enhanced catalytic, absorption, and ion exchange properties over conventional zeolites, making them valuable for environmental remediation, drug delivery, and industrial catalysis. Key characteristics and applications. drug delivery, and biomedical. Due to their high loading efficiency, stability, and biocompatibility, zeolite nanoparticles are used as drug carriers for cancer therapy, antimicrobial treatments, and selective protein absorption in blood. Environmental remediation. They are highly efficient at absorbing toxins, heavy metals, and microplastics due to their high surface area. They are also used in water treatment for ammonia and phosphate removal. Catalysis and industry. Used as catalysts in organic chemistry and as additives in coatings, electronics, and coatings. They can also function as effective antioxidants for lubricants. Synthesis and structure. They can be synthetic, like FAU or LTL types, or modified natural zeolites, often appearing in water-based suspensions or as fine powders.
Why zeolite nanoparticles? Or natural zeolite at the nanoscale? Because the Internet of Bio-Nano Things can then have an easier way to target medicine. That means changing out the payload. Changing out the payload in nanomedicine is very important because it's based off your genetics, proteins, nucleic acid.
We're here with Science Direct, and we're going to read Zeolite-based nanoparticles, drug delivery systems, and modern pharmaceutical research and environmental remediation. Zeolites and polymeric materials offer precise drug delivery due to their unique structure and properties. Zeolite aids in removing contaminants from wastewater through ion exchange processes. Synthetic zeolites with modified release mechanisms have distinct optical and electrical properties. Zeolite plays a significant role in various industries with enhanced versatility. Zeolites are vital for antidiarrheal, anti-tumor, antibacterial agents, and MRI contrast agents and medical applications. This review explores the potential of zeolite-based nanoparticles in modern pharmaceutical research, focusing their role in advanced drug delivery systems. Zeolites, integrated into polymeric materials, offer precise drug delivery capabilities due to their unique structural features, biocompatibility, and controllable properties. Additionally, zeolites demonstrate environmental remediation potential through ion exchange processes. Synthetic zeolites, with modified release mechanisms, possess distinctive optical and electronic properties, expanding their applications in various fields. The study details zeolite's significance across industrial and scientific domains, outlining synthesis methods and size control techniques. The review emphasizes successful encapsulation and functionalization strategies for drug delivery, highlighting their role in enhancing drug stability and enabling targeted delivery. Advanced characterization techniques contribute to a comprehensive understanding of zeolite-based drug delivery systems. Addressing potential carcinogenicity, the review discusses environmental impact and risk assessment, stressing the importance of safety considerations in nanoparticle research. In biomedical applications, zeolites play vital roles in antidiarrheal, anti-tumor, antibacterial, and MRI contrast agents. Clinical trials featuring zeolite-based interventions underscore zeolite's potential in addressing diverse medical challenges. In conclusion, zeolite-based nanoparticles emerge as promising tools for targeted drug delivery, showcasing diverse applications and therapeutic potentials. Despite challenges, their unique advantages position zeolites at the forefront of innovative drug delivery systems. Now, we're going to go over here. Anti-reflective zeolite coating for implantable bioelectronic devices. Let's go over here to Google, and we're going to search water implantable bioelectronic devices. Implantable bioelectronic devices are medical devices merging electronics with biology, placed inside the body to monitor, treat, or manage diseases by stimulating or sensing neural and physiological signals. Key examples include pacemakers for heart rhythm and stimulators for pain or Parkinson's. Functionality. These devices often act as electroceuticals or bioelectronic medicines, using targeted electrical signals to modulate neural circuits, offering alternatives to pharmaceuticals. Here are your applications. Neuromodulation, deep brain stimulators for Parkinson's and epilepsy, and spinal cord stimulators for pain. Cardiovascular, cardiac pacemakers and defibrillators. Sensory/motor, cochlear implants and retinal prostheses. Monitoring, continuous glucose monitors. Technological trends. Modern devices are shifting from rigid, permanent materials to soft, flexible, and bioresorbable, degradable electronics, which minimize long-term risks. Challenges. The key challenges include ensuring long-term stability and biocompatibility to prevent immune rejection, as well as developing advanced, miniaturized wireless powering solutions. These devices enable precise, real-time feedback loops to manage bodily functions rather than relying solely on systemic drugs. Now back over here. Since sunlight is one of the most easily available and clean energy supplies, solar cell development and the improvement of its conversion efficiency represent a highly interesting topic. Superficial light reflection is one of the limiting factors of the photovoltaic cell's efficiency. To this end, interfacial layer with anti-reflective properties reduces this phenomenon, improving the energy potentially available for transduction. Nanoporous materials, because of the correlation between the refractive index and the porosity, allow low reflection, improving light transmission through the coating. In this work, anti-reflective coatings deposited on commercial PV cells were fabricated using two different lint, type A, LTA zeolites, type 3A, and 4A have been investigated. The proposed technique allows an easier deposition of a zeolite-based mixture, avoiding the use of chemicals and elevated temperature calcination processes. Results using radiation in the range of 470 to 610 nanometers evidenced substantial enhancement of the fill factor, with maximum achieved values of over 40%. At 590 and 610 nanometers, which are the most interesting bands for implantable devices, FF is improved with a maximum of 22% and 10%, respectively. ARC's differences are mostly related to the morphology of the zeolite powder used, which resulted in thicker and rougher coatings using zeolite 3A. The proposed approach allows a simple and reliable deposition technique, which can be of interest for implantable medical devices. So they are coating the biosensors with the zeolite because the zeolite is very porous. In the last decade, research has driven a series of technological innovations in the fields with even more increasing energy demand. This is evident in industrial technologies characterized by the huge energy consumption, like your healthcare, automotive, consumer electronics, industrial, etc. In healthcare, modern diagnostic approaches and therapies, implantable bioelectronic devices, can improve the clinical outcome of the patient, obtaining a large amount of data. Innovative devices are usually light, allowing the patient to conduct normal daily activities. Energy storage is by far one of the bottlenecks, preventing efficient energy management. The latest designed batteries could even last for years, also thanks to energy harvesting techniques that collect energy from external sources. Energy harvesting, that would be your W band. Thus, the evolution of medical electronic devices is aimed at the reduction of energy consumption and the simultaneous harvesting of energy from the environment, like solar cells, piezoelectric generators, triboelectric generators, radio frequency harvesters, thermoelectric conversion, etc. Thermoelectric conversion, that energy harvesting W band, it's like little solar cells to power all the biosensors from within. Now let's scroll down. Here is Figure 1, schematic representation of the zeolite-based anti-reflective coating and the chemical formula of the zeolite 3A and 4A employed during the preparation of the mixtures. We're going to slap some zeolite on there because it's very porous. And zeolite, whether it's synthetic or natural zeolite, has different properties at the teeny tiny nano level. The interaction of photons with skin can be considered by different points of view: physical, depth of penetration; chemical, absorption of light and subsequent photochemical events; and biological, tissue/cell response. In human skin, the depth of penetration increases as the wavelength increases. Red light is the most penetrating, about 4 to 5 millimeters, while blue light penetrates less than 1 millimeter, and UV light hardly penetrates under the skin, about 0.5 millimeters. This is because the skin has a wide range of natural substances called chromophores, like water, hemoglobin, melanin, where each of them can absorb specific wavelengths. A schematic representation of the proposed concept, together with the chemical formula of both types of zeolites, is reported in Figure 1. Regarding the standard working model of a PV cell in which solar radiation directly hits the surface, Figure 1A, in case of applications that require the implantation of energy source, Figure 1B, it is important to evaluate the specific wavelength, the intensity, and the depth of penetration for an optimized optoelectric transduction. There is your optoelectric. We're going to go over here to Google and we're going to search optoelectronics. Optoelectronics is a branch of photonics, combining electronics and optics to create devices that can generate, detect, and control light, visible, infrared, or ultraviolet light. These devices convert electrical energy into light, like LEDs and lasers, or light into electrical signals, like solar cells and photodetectors, acting as crucial transducers in modern technology. Key components and technologies: LEDs, efficient, long-lasting light sources for lighting and displays. Laser diodes produce coherent light used in fiber optics, printers, and barcode scanners. Photodetectors/photodiodes convert light into current for sensing and imaging. Optocouplers/optoisolators use light to transfer electrical signals between circuits, while maintaining electrical isolation. Solar cells convert sunlight directly into electricity. Imaging sensors, components in cameras, such as CCD or CMOS sensors. Applications and industries. Telecommunications, essential for fiber optic communication networks. Consumer electronics, displays, camera sensors, and remote controls. Automotive lighting, LiDAR for autonomous driving, and interior sensors. Medical imaging, technologies used for diagnostic and therapeutic tools. Energy, photovoltaic solar panels for power generation. Now let's go over here to the IEEE. Optically unobtrusive, zeolite-based dry electrodes for wearable ECG monitoring. Novel dry electrodes are increasingly evolving for monitoring electrocardiograms compared to the widely used wet electrodes, as there is no skin preparation or wet gel needed. Many fabricated dry electrodes are, however, opaque, and the problem of skin irritation and rashes continue to pose a concern. In this paper, an optically unobstructive dry electrode based on the ion electric properties of zeolite is developed and proposed for continuous electrocardiogram monitoring. Ion electric properties of zeolite. We're going to go to Google and search ion electric properties of zeolite. Zeolite possesses unique ion electric properties stemming from their porous, negatively charged aluminosilicate framework, which is balanced by mobile extra framework cations. These materials exhibit high ionic conductivity, which is heavily influenced by hydration, temperature, and cation exchange capabilities. Key ion electric characteristics. They have ionic conductivity, role of cations and water, ion exchange and transport, temperature dependence. Now let's go back and keep reading. An easy moldable composite of the sodium form of nanoporous zeolite and PDMS is reported for the first time. The electrical and bioelectrical characterizations are evaluated for 24 pairs of electrodes, which were fabricated with two filler materials, zeolite 4A and 13X. Two filler concentrations, 4 weight percent and 12 weight percent. 3 diameters, 30 millimeters, 20 millimeters, and 10 millimeters, and differing thicknesses. High input impedance and high conductivity of the electrodes have proven the suitability for biosignal acquisition. ECG signals are acquired using each pair of electrodes. Results related to impedance, conductivity, and SNR measurements over a frequency range of up to 10 kHz are presented. Among the 24 pairs, the results indicate the signal-to-noise ratio for zeolite 13X based filler with a concentration of 4 weight percent and diameter of 30 millimeters has the highest signal-to-noise ratio of 42.9 decibel and conductivity of 0.58 microsiemens per millimeter. Now, we're going to go over here to Science Direct, and we're going to read. Functionalized zeolite regulates bone metabolical microenvironment. Summary of zeolite classification and functionalization strategies for regulating bone metabolical microenvironments. Novel application of functionalized zeolites in bone microenvironment regulation for osteoporosis, defects, infections, and tumors. Zeolite uses enhancing osteogenesis, anti-infection, tumor control, via improved drug loading and sustained release capabilities. Prospects/challenges of orthopedic zeolite applications analyzed to advance biomaterial development. The regulation of bone, metabolical microenvironment, imbalances in diseases such as osteoporosis, bone defects, infections, and tumors remains a significant challenge in orthopedics. Therefore, it has become urgent to develop biomaterials with effective bone metabolic microenvironmental regulatory functions. Zeolites, as advanced biomedical materials, possess distinctive physiochemical properties such as multi-level pore structures, adjustable frameworks, easily modifiable surfaces, and excellent absorption capabilities. These advantageous characteristics give zeolites broad application prospects in regulating the bone metabolical microenvironment. Therefore, this paper first classifies zeolites used to regulate the bone metabolical microenvironment based on their topological structures and compositional frameworks. Subsequently, it provides a detailed description of modification strategies for zeolite materials aimed at regulating this microenvironment. Next, a comprehensive summary was provided on the preparation strategies for zeolite materials aimed at regulating the bone metabolical microenvironment. Additionally, the paper focuses on the specific applications of zeolite materials and conditions of bone metabolical imbalance, such as osteoporosis, bone defects, orthopedic infections, and bone tumors, highlighting their potential in enhancing osteogenic microenvironments, controlling infections, and treating bone tumors. Finally, it outlines the prospects and challenges associated with the application of zeolites in regulating the bone metabolic microenvironments. This review comprehensively summarizes zeolites used for bone metabolic regulation, aiming to provide guidance for future research and application development. Natural zeolite. Natural. Natural zeolite is very tunable, naturally. So the more zeolites you have in you, the easier it is to change out the nanolipid payload, like the National Nano Initiative bragged about. It's what the COVID shot was made of, right out of their own mouth. National Nano Initiative. They have everyone believing that it's only graphene. What about enzymes, boron, carbon nanotubes?